night with none other than the amazing, the incredible Sabrina Verjee, who did not set a ladies' record on the Wainwrights this last week. So here to tell us more about that is Sabrina herself. 6 days, 17 hours, 51 minutes. It's pretty impressive, Sabrina. Congratulations. But why are you uncomfortable with people calling it a record? Let's just talk about that a bit first.
Yeah, I set out to get a record. But as I went around, probably about 4 days in, I had knee trouble and I needed assistance to get down some of the hills. And what could have been a little bit of assistance, I did need more than that on the way around to finish it. So there was a point where I could have just stopped and given up on everything, but I wanted to get around all the summits in whatever way I could, and I was able to go uphill fine. I was able to do the flats and some descents, but some things are just a bit too steep for my knee, and I needed to go backwards actually and be guided down, because obviously it's quite steep terrain, and hold on to people. So it's not really in the spirit of things to get a record in this manner. So it's best to not try to claim it makes things complicated. And as I said, motivated to go for it again next year.
Oh, brilliant. I was going to ask you that question, even though you must still be really tired, are you thinking about going for it again?
Yeah, I'd like to do it properly.
Yeah, and do you think if your knee hadn't flared up, do you think you would have been on for breaking the Paul's record, which was the 6 days and 6 hours record from last year?
Well, I still had a long way to go, but it was looking good that I was pretty much on the schedule. I wouldn't say it was impossible. It was proving to be potentially possible, yeah. But everything has to go right. And I've had a lot of bad runnings in with the weather, so that did kind of make things harder. So I think if I do it in May and I have a bit better weather and I haven't got bracken everywhere, there's a better chance of it. But who knows? Paul might get back out there and do it, make it harder for me.
Yeah, he might cut it down to, 5 days.
It's not just about beating, his record. It was just about what time did I think could be done. I wrote a schedule based on what I thought was possible, and that was that. And it happened to be faster than what Paul had done. But it's just a schedule at the end of the day, and you can only carry out as best you can. I don't know if everyone's probably watching John Kelly right now. That's really exciting, and he's written his schedule, and he was up for the first bit, and then he drops a little bit, and he's dropping a little bit, but he's still ahead of the record. So it's like one of those, and you're like, oh, can he do it? And that's what it was like with me, and that's just how it is, and if you don't push the boat out and put your schedule on, the best that you can do, you won't get it, because you won't have your support team in place and they won't be on board with what you're thinking.
Yeah, they can always delay stuff, can't they? But they can't really rush ahead.
Yeah, it gets more difficult. So I think you have to aim high with your schedules, and then also if you are chasing record as John Kelly is, you've got wiggle room. So although you may be not on the splits you were hoping, you might still just sneak in there, and that would be nice. That's probably his thinking as well, but I think he would like to smash it a bit more. But so go John.
Go John. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it, in these times that we've got something to watch, isn't it? There's no races happening, let's watch some amazing athletes do some cracking FKTs. And I just in case some people are watching and they don't know what the Wainwrights is, I'm just going to put a little map up on the screen here to just show the 214 peaks in the Lake District that Alfred Wainwright declared were his favourite peaks, the most beautiful peaks, the must-do peaks in the Lake District, and there's a route that wiggles around between them. And obviously Joss Naylor was amongst one of the first people to kind of do it or popularise the route back in 1986 with 7 days, 1 hour and 25 minutes. And then Steve Birkinshaw in 2014 dropped that down quite dramatically, actually, to 6 days and 13 hours, and he's written a book on that called No Map in Hell, which is really, really good. Definitely get it if you can. And then Paul Tierney last year, 2019, 6 days, 6 hours. And now Sabrina Verjee, almost a kind of sort of a ladies kind of semi-assisted FKT, maybe we should call it, of 6 days, 17 hours, 51 minutes. So we were all following you, Sabs, on this tracker here, and it was really gutting actually. Because of COVID, we couldn't come out and support you, because I had the idea that I was going to come up for a couple of days and film you doing some stuff. So I was really pleased that there were some people from La Sportiva kind of running around with cameras there, and Chris Lines, he got some footage as well. So I just wanted to show everyone that footage before we get onto the patron questions, because people have got some really good questions for you. So I'm going to just show you arriving at the final peak, which is Cat Bells. And then at the top of Cat Bells, it's a bit windy.
Are they able to hear the bagpipes?
Hopefully, yes. I can hear the bagpipes.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can hear us though. And then I love this clip of you running like a bat out of hell to the moot hall and actually running up the steps. How incredible is that?
I kind of felt there were people watching. I have to make an effort now.
Definitely.
I was all right going up stuff. It was the down.
Oh yeah. Oh, the DOMs must have been incredible.
Yeah, no, I don't think I got DOMs. This is the weird thing. It wasn't DOMs. It's just some knee thing. I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm just going to give you a little taste of who's watching as well, because we've got tons of people watching live. So Robin Townsend says, good evening, looking forward to this one. Philip Haddock says he's been looking forward to the Sabrina interview. Hannah Baisley says looking forward to it too. Catherine Roberts says hey. Sue Marsh says theoretically she's working during this live chat. Nigel's pleased that his YouTube is fixed so he can see this. Catherine Roberts says Sabrina looks amazing. How is she even upright? And she sat down. He sat down on a sofa. Abby says hi. John Airy says, evening Sabrina, looking well. You must have had some good sleep at least. And Jeanette Hall said, I heard the bagpipes and I can hear you, so they could hear us chatting during that. Matthew Conrad Jones says hey as well. So yeah, tons of people listening. And I have got some really interesting questions for you, because yes, it is a really interesting thing what you've done. So Robin Townsend says, massive congratulations first of all, Sabrina, absolutely amazing. I've loved watching your progress last week. What made you want to go for the record in the first place, and what did your training and preparation look like around your work commitments?
When Steve did it 6 years ago, that's when I first thought about it or knew about it or even heard of Wainwright tops. And I know other people sort of think about Wainwright tops and they've been bagging them individually, and that's a really fun thing to do. But when I saw Steve was like, just going to get Wainwrights all in one go, I thought, yeah, that's the sort of way I would do it, why would you mess around? So, yeah, because also, I mean, I've been up loads of Wainwrights, but I've never methodically ticked them off. So even before I started, I wasn't sure if I'd ever got them all. I thought I probably had. I wasn't 100% sure. So it was like, right, well, that's an easy way to make sure you've got them all. Do them all in one go, logically. Brilliant. Nice journey, challenging. Yeah, I think I like long distance stuff. I like doing things overnight. And yeah, just running. Because with the adventure racing, I got a bit fed up with biking and kayaking, which wasn't, my forte. So yeah, definitely was excited about just doing all the summits in a bit of a journey.
Yeah, you like a journey, don't you? Because you won the summer spine race outright. That's 268 miles. And the Dragon's Back race, you've come fifth, you've come second again. So yeah, you love the long stuff, don't you? And
going from A to B. Yeah, it's inspiring, and being in the mountains, and there's very little road or anything else on this. It's properly mountainous terrain the whole time, which is really great. And so my training, I used recceing really to do the training, because you're thinking, right, well, I need to get more hills in, and the recce's were beastly. You know, I'd go out and I'd do like 40-50k, but the ascent was mega in that time. And during lockdown, I felt, well, I wasn't supposed to drive anywhere to go running, but I could go running from my door. So I did all my recce's from Langdale, which was quite amusing. When you're like, I really need to go and recce round Ennerdale Water. Right. That's a long way to get to. So I'd go out all the way up Allen Crag, Big Tarn, go over the Arran Slack, down, and then start my recce. And it would be things, and then you'd end up doing 67k just to do 3 or 4 peaks you hadn't done yet.
Wow.
But it was really good training. So I just did that a lot to get it all in and get the miles in, the ups and downs. Because it's really hard to plan a route, if I weren't doing a recce, to plan a route with that much up and down without going mad, I think. Sending myself up and down random hills. Whereas if it's because I'm trying to follow a route, it's easier in my head, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And the ascent is incredible. It's on the Wainwrights, it's 326 miles, it's 36,000 metres. And just to compare that to the Spine race, which is 268 miles, so the mileage kind of like, you can sort of get your head around that. But the ascent's almost triple. It's like the Spine race is 13,300 metres. So compare that to 36,000, it's kind of almost triple, and it's just crazy. But those loops sound like a really good idea. It sounds a bit Joss Naylor-esque. Joss goes, I'll just go up there and round there and over there and back down to Bosdelphi.
Go out for a good day.
Yeah. And with that in mind, Hannah's got the question. She's a vet as well. So she wants to know, how do you find the time to train?
Yeah, I own my own practice now, which makes things, you could say on one hand easier, but more often it's more difficult.
Yeah,
actually.
I wouldn't say it's easier to do your own thing.
Yeah, so I try to have 3 days off a week. So the weekend maybe in another day. And those are my big hill days where I just go out all day on the hill and I don't do anything else. And then the days I'm working, I'll try and do a local run, near the practice to fit it in. Sometimes I sleep at work. That saves me a journey back and forth, and then if I'm on call, I'm there anyway. So that's a way of, if I don't have a 45-minute drive home, a 45-minute drive back, I can spend that time running. So I think you can fit these things in, but you have to remember, I don't have a family, I don't have children, I don't have any other commitments. So, I really do just work and run. We run the bunkhouse as well, but I'm busy. I don't sleep much.
That's good practice, eh?
I'll fit it in,
Yeah.
I think if you want to do something, you'll fit it in.
Yeah. I think so too, and it's an interesting time, isn't it, to do such an amazing kind of attempt, because usually in normal times you get tons of people turning out for stuff like this to support people. Philip Haddock wants to know, what was it like running the Wainwrights in the middle of a pandemic? And congratulations, by the way, he says, massive achievement.
Running it in the middle of a pandemic, yes. I think earlier in the lockdown it would have been weirder. Things are becoming more normal of late, so there was less of that. But I felt bad for having to ask people to stay away. I really did. But I really didn't want to be responsible for coronavirus transmission, and for encouraging people to move around the country as well. I know we're all allowed to go places, but the last thing I want is a massive influx of people into the Lake District from cities where they might have a higher viral load. So I think it's more that I felt bad for not being able to include people, but I'm glad that they could have the dot watching experience, and hopefully they got to see some videos and photos and feel a bit involved. Some of my local friends were amazing, and they went up to some summits and left me notes.
Oh yeah, I saw one of those. Yeah,
that really was quite wonderful, actually, that I would arrive at the summit with a little note there, and that really touched me. So I think it's been fine running in a pandemic, and at the end of the day I've had my 2 support pacers with me, on each leg. They've just been amazing. All I've had to think about is moving, and eating, and that's it. They take care of everything else.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it, having a really good support team who you can really rely on. Okay, that is that question done. And then Kat wants to know, did you deviate from your plan at all as the week progressed? And she says, obviously, massive congratulations as well.
Deviate from my plan. No, we were pretty good sticking on the schedule, and the route. We did the route as planned, more or less. I mean, I did one. I had planned to go across from. So there's one we go Stony Cove and you go north. I think it's Hartsop Dodd and there's Tarn Crag. And originally I would have gone down and up, but the river at the bottom was full and it was claggy, so we couldn't see the line. So I thought it was safer just to turn around and go around the long way. But it saved a lot of height drop and gain, so there's nothing in it really, and that's it. There was minimal change to the route. So the route was executed as per it should have been, and one nav error off Scarfell. We were trying to find Lingmel, but we couldn't see anything. It was just completely clagged in. We couldn't see the route. Luckily, the path we ended up dropping off on was not too different. We didn't lose too much time, but it was quite funny that we were just like, oh, we're completely wrong place.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. I remember on my Bob Graham, even Steve Birkinshaw wasn't sure where Thunakar Knot was, like on over the Scarfell section on leg 3, and I was just thinking, oh my goodness, if Steve Birkinshaw's not sure, then I have no chance in hell, because I was just popping some pictures up there. The weather was not good all the time, was it? You've got some beautiful pictures, and then some somewhere where it's claggy. There's a lot of you hugging various trig points, which is really cool, and wearing these amazing socks, which are very stripy. I did want to base the whole interview around those socks, because I think they're brilliant. Where are they from?
They're Dex shells.
Oh, okay, so they're waterproof.
Very light Dex shells. Now, I'm not actually that keen on them being bright and very obvious, but people love it because they can spot me from miles away. But they're not a fashion statement of mine, but they are very useful. I mean, they keep my feet dry, and those particular ones, they have a band. The long ones have a band just below the knee that stops water getting in as well. So when you cross a river, you don't suddenly get waterproof socks full of water like swimming pools, which is really unhelpful. So they're really good socks, and yeah, I'm not sure the feet would have stayed in one piece if I weren't wearing them, because it was wet the entire time. The ground was completely saturated. There were no legs where you wouldn't have completely wet feet the entire time. So nobody would manage to do that, I would say, in those conditions without dry socks.
Yeah,
it would just fall. You'd have trench foot for sure.
Yeah. That's really interesting and a really good tip as well for anybody who gets sore feet and doesn't want to, and is doing something long and needs some dry feet going on. And then we've got another question, kind of a route related, kind of motivation related question from Rich Simpson. He says there was quite a few times when you had to do sort of these dog legs, kind of backtracking on the route. And I'll just put the route up again there so people can see all the various dog legs going on. And he says, especially when you were close to the finish, but then sort of having to turn around and do some more peaks to sort of dodge back on yourself. How on earth did you deal with that mentally? Because he says he's seen people break with less backtracking. How did you cope with these enormous sort of diversions as they seem to be?
Yeah, you just don't think about it. I mean, I knew what there was involved in the whole thing because I wrecked it all. I knew what was to come. I knew what I had to do, and I knew if I didn't do that, then I wasn't completing the mission. So it's not. Yeah, I just trundled along really, and I would say the funny thing is I could have gone on longer. It's not like I got to Moot Hall and was like, that's me. And I think because you go for so long, and I think sometimes that's the problem with some people, and then they've capped the end, and then if the end doesn't come where the end should be, it can be a problem. It could be a wall that you can't get through. So I think, yeah, I was just happy. God, I was just enjoying myself.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing that you felt like you could go longer.
The last day was sunny and lovely, and I loved it. It was just, it was amazing.
Awesome. It's amazing that you felt like you were running up to the moot hall and you were like, oh, I don't really want this to end, because like you must have had not very much sleep in those 6 or so days. Like, did you have any hallucinations? How long did you sleep for? John Airy is keen to know this.
So the sleep was about 7 to 8 hours for the whole thing.
Really? So like just under 2 hours a day?
Yeah, so I didn't sleep the first night, an hour and a half at Langdale, an hour the next night, an hour and a half again, and then I think an hour and a half. So it was like that.
Yeah, and I've got this photo here, courtesy of Giles Ruck, where you're in a bivvy bag just under a stone, and he's sort of smiling next to you, and you look kind of dead under the stone.
Yeah, so I have those proper sleeps where they're in a camper van or in my own house or wherever. But if during the night I have a moment, as it were, so this is quite funny. I go along and I'm happy trudging along, marching, going at a decent speed, and then I'll start saying, I can't see, guys, I can't see, my vision's going. And I'm like, and then he's ignoring me because I'm talking rubbish, and I'll be like, I need to keep my eyelids open, I need to keep my eyelids open, I can't keep my eyelids open, what can we do? I need to remove my eyelids so I can see. And then I'm like, how do I remove my eyelids, guys? Let's peel them off because they're in the way.
Or you should get like see-through ones, translucent eyelids, like a snake. Don't they have 3 eyelids?
It's just like completely missing the point though, isn't it? It's like, so I'm burbling on about this, and then apparently I started talking about painting fences green. I'm not sure where that came from.
Wow.
So I'm burbling stuff and I'm not being very useful. So at that point I go, right, guys, I need a nap. So then the important thing is I don't get cold while having a nap. So I shove loads of clothes on, climb into the bivvy. To be honest, it's better if I have someone in with me with their body heat, and then just have a snooze. Of course, we didn't do that because of coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, there's a good anyway, 2-meter gap there in this photo.
So yeah, you have to get into this bivvy bag. It'd be better, as I said, if there were 2, but no, it's 1. Anyway, so yeah, you then have a kip, 5 minutes. They wake you up. I get up. Off I go.
Cool.
And sometimes it lasts a good long while. Sometimes it doesn't last very long. I have to do it again.
Yeah. It's amazing that you've still got the presence of mind, though, to say to everyone, hang on, I'm chatting rubbish here. I need to sleep. Like,
I know. I thought someone would pick me up before because I'm just being annoying, but they never did.
Maybe they just thought it was funny. And so I
don't know what they were thinking. I'm speaking these words knowing I'm garbling rubbish, yet I can't help it. And the worst one was coming to Langdale. I was surprised. I really can't believe that Neil didn't just, I don't know, kill me.
Rugby tackle you to the ground and go, you need sleep, Sabs.
Yeah, basically. But I was complaining that why were we going uphill when my house was downhill? Why were we going downhill when we want to go uphill to the summit? Why are we going uphill again, Neil? Why are we doing this? And then it's just like, then when we'd reached the summit, why am I going uphill again, Neil? I thought I'd got the summit.
Yeah, and then he's like, no.
It was in the dark, and he did really well because he just didn't really respond too much to me. I think he just sort of said, "Yes, Abs, don't worry, we're almost there."
Yes, yeah. It's good to have. It's good to go have a good support team, isn't it? I've just put a picture of Ben, your partner, doing a selfie with you guys going uphill in the background, and he looks like he's having a good time too. I know he must have not had much sleep either.
Ben did really well. I think Ben had so much to deal with, phone calls, coordinating people, filling in where there were gaps, making sure road support was there, making sure I was okay, and probably worried about me. And yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, because it's not just the athlete that does this challenge, is it? There's a whole team of people beside you, as you can see as you ran into Keswick.
As I said, the team was just amazing. I can't thank them enough. They were just the best people. They've made it like the most enjoyable experience, and I just felt so privileged.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And they must have helped you with the food side of things as well, because Graham Guy has a question. He says, what was nutrition like on such a challenge? And I'm going to put a picture up here. There's a picture of you walking uphill with a bag of food and it looks like a spoon or a toothbrush in your hand.
That was just the time. So I'd headed out on that Wasdale hard knot leg, and was not feeling the love for food. Certainly none of the food that I had. And I raided Nikki's stash of food. She had a wrap with cheese and lettuce in. And oh my God, lettuce has never tasted so good.
Amazing, yeah. Because if you're eating like loads of sweet stuff.
Yeah, and she's like, right, what else can you eat? And she rattled through my food again. I was like, oh God, don't want any of that. I can't remember what else I raided off her, but yeah, I was managing cheese on its own. So that leg, I was desperate. I was not getting the calories in. It was a miserable leg because the weather was rubbish. It was the hardest leg for me because of the terrain. It was all going a bit pear-shaped. I had this awful slog across from Ilgill Head at Wastwater to Slightside, and the fern was high and the grass was unforgiving. It was like, the baby heads, and you're going uphill, like this slight uphill, which you think you should be able to move through quite quickly, but because the baby heads, it just took forever. Honestly, I was losing it there. And I had no calories in me, so I couldn't move very quickly. And then we eventually got to Scarfell, and I had an ingenious idea, because obviously we were heading back towards Langdale, and I said, right, get Ben. I said, I just need Ben, because I knew Ben would sort me out. You know when you're just like, I need someone to sort me out here. I need fixing. Get Ben. So I asked him to come and bring a meal. So he made one of those exped meals. And he ran up to Esk Gauze and met us there and gave me the meal. So that's why I'm eating that food as I go along. And I managed to eat the whole thing. And that was 1,000 calories, bang. And I finished that leg strong, and it got me back in the game.
Yeah.
That was like rescued. I got rescued there. Yeah.
You say you got rescued, but again, it's you going, hang on a minute, this is what I need, and then asking for it. So I think it is really interesting how you're still so compos mentis, even whilst you're in these kind of bad patches, that you can, it's experience, isn't it, that tells you, right, I need to do something.
Yeah, but I was lucky he was able to come.
Yes, he didn't have. Yeah, I've got something on, Sabs. So then, just to kind of delve a little bit more into that whole mental side of things. John Watts wants to know, do you have some kind of internal monologue that keeps you going?
No, there's nothing I really say to myself. I just want it. That's just. I want it. I don't know why or how, but I do, and then I'm just going to achieve it. And yeah, I don't know where it comes from or how you get that. But yeah, if you're focused on something and you really want it, you can have it.
Yeah, wise words. And another couple of questions, because I know you've got to go soon. We talked a little bit about highs and lows, but Catherine is interested in, did you have any major lows, and how did you get back on track, get your kind of emotions back on track? And also massive congratulations, she says.
Yeah, so the Dodwood car park was a major low because I'd not been able to get off Carlside, that steep descent. I'd had to go backwards, holding on to people, and it was really painful. And I got down there, and I was like, "Oh dear, do I need to sack this off?" It was like, "Do I need to?" And I was like, "I don't want to." But see, that's where having good people around you is really important. So I had a little chat with Sally, and we decided I'll have a sleep here for an hour and a half, and then I'll reassess the situation once I get up. And then we just said, yeah, look, let's just take one step at a time. And I was lucky because they were prepared to do that. They were prepared to walk with me along that road at half a k an hour, whatever I was managing to put out, and put up with it. And I can't thank them enough, really, because it was that tootling along one step in front of the other, and I eventually managed to get my speed back, and get in my head how I might achieve the finish.
Yeah, it's amazing that even though you had the knee problem and you thought, oh no, I'm not on for this record, and you were kind of thinking, oh, I've kind of been assisted, I don't know if I can call it a record, that you still just carried on. It's just, I think everybody's more impressed by that.
I had to get it done. I just had to get it done.
Yeah, you got to get it done. It's, you've booked the time off work, may as well just spend it in the hills, hey? Yeah. And then obviously towards the end, I think it was the previous record holders. So Paul Tierney and Steve Birkinshaw, they came, didn't they? And I've got a photo of you walking with them here. But Chloe Mason says, how was it running with the previous record holders?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we're all like-minded, and they were very supportive and wanted me to achieve what I could achieve. I'm prepared to do anything to help me, and they've been fab. So, and that's another reason not to claim a record when I shouldn't be, because, it undermines other people's efforts, and we need to keep it clean.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It looks like you're having a good old chat with them. One of Chris Lyons' photos there, discussing something. What were you? Can you remember what you were talking about? Was it something to do with the Wainwrights, or was it just like, I had a really great pork pie the other day?
It wasn't anything to do with the Wainwrights. I think we were just babbling, and that was what was great about a lot of this. Is it was just, we were focused. We were moving forward. We were all on it. But we were also enjoying ourselves, talking about all sorts of things, and just enjoying being of the same mindset, loving being outdoors, loving having a purpose, and loving being together. And it was, a lot of us have not seen people for ages because of the coronavirus. So it was really, I think that made it even more special that it was a get together at that particular time. And I guess that was another reason I didn't really want to stop. I was enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh, and then it did come to an end, and Joss Naylor was there as well. There's a photo here, a really great photo of you like about to raise your arms just in front of the Moot Hall, which is really fantastic. And then there's a lovely photo of you and Joss and it's a shame Paul couldn't be there as well, but Steve's there as well, keeping your 1 metre distance, I see, as you stand by the Moot Hall steps. How did it feel seeing Joss coming out? Did you know he was going to be there?
I was very honoured that he turned up. No, I didn't know he was going to be there. I felt very special, and it made my day. Because he used to live in Wasdale. I think I thought about seeing if he could have, got involved at Wasdale with us, but he wasn't there anymore. So to have him at the end was really lovely, and the words he said to me, it made me very happy.
What did he say to you?
Yeah, he said, "Look, you've really achieved something here, and it's something to inspire people, and you will inspire people. Hopefully it does, and people get out there, and we get more women out, especially."
Definitely. I think you've definitely very much done that. Tons of women were asking questions on this one, and tons of, everyone's just interested because it's such an amazing achievement. And one final question that we've just got from Colin Clark. Why do you think that vets like to run so far? There's Sabrina, there's Jasmine Paris, there's Rob Pope. He is also a vet and he likes to run far. And then we've got veterinary nurse Hannah Neal as well. Do you think it's something about being a vet? And like Nikki Spink, she's a cattle farmer, she's close to cows all day.
Well, we when I was at uni, we did notice that a lot of the vets did sport to a high level, and doctors as well. And I think it's probably in the same ball of the ambition and achievement and the drive. If you're driven to succeed in a profession, maybe you're driven to succeed in running. Can you just push yourself that a bit farther? I don't know. It could just be coincidence.
Yeah. I noticed on the spine race once when I was reporting on that, there was a lot of like anaesthetists and, like people who worked in the medical profession because of all the shift work that they do. So they were actually really good at the whole sleep deprivation thing. Like, is it Carol Morgan? Didn't she used to work in something along those lines? And Tom Hollins as well. I could be completely remembering it wrong, but the medical professions.
Yeah. Carol's nurse, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I know you said you had half an hour and we've taken up 34 minutes of your time and 21 seconds. So I have answered everybody's questions. I've asked everybody's questions, so I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you could join us here tonight, Sabrina. Everybody has loved the live chat, and I just wish you the best of luck for your recovery, for your knee. I hope that I can come and see you soon, and I just hope that next year in May you get round it and smash that record down. Or create just a women's record that you're happy with personally.
Okay, thanks a lot, Claire. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll just read out some lovely comments. Robin Townsend says, engineers as well as vets. Camellia Bernoulli says she's a doctor, she thinks it's stress relief. And Kurt Steege says maybe the anaesthetist just drugged themselves to get through it. So yeah, lots of people thought that was entertaining last question. Cool. So thanks very much. Say hi to Ben for me as well. I hope he's sleeping well. And I will see you soon.
Okay. Bye,
cool. Bye, Sabs. Thank you so much.